What's up, coaches? Welcome back to Coach Dino Football. I'm DiNicola.
Today, we're going to be talking by the numbers and how coaches can use sports science to help their team succeed.
So I've talked about how Catapult works from a technical standpoint. I've talked through the metrics and how they can help coaches and players. And I've talked with coaches to see how they're using the technology and how it's helped their team. Now I thought it'd be useful to talk through some of the questions that I get as a rep at Catapult from coaches and address them. So now here are the top 5 considerations for integrating sports tech into your football program.
Before we get started, if you're interested in more content like this, just hit that subscribe button. It really helps us grow the channel and it helps you keep up to date with the latest content that we're producing. Now onto the video.
So number 5 is going to be building the case for Catapult. Anytime you buy something new, it's really important to know why. Basically, we know that Catapult can do some cool stuff, but so what? Who cares? It's important for me to make the case to coaches, and that's part of my job as a rep for Catapult. But it's also important for coaches to equip themselves on key concept about the product so that they can inform their colleagues, student athletes, and administration or decision makers. So the first key topic to hone in on is Catapult's ability to track player improvement. Setting and tracking goals is a great way of quantifying success and continuing to motivate your athletes. The next is going to be player safety. So proactively identifying risks and irregularities in any of the metrics that we track. This is going to assist players in staying healthy. For example, if a player is running 5 miles an hour less than he was the week before, now we can ask what's happening rather than just assume that they're being lazy. So player potential is another thing that Catapult can really highlight, showing improvement from individuals or even highlighting their speed and power to help get them recruited. And then the last is the competitive advantage that Catapult provides. So as more teams adopt the tech, you're simply missing out, not garnering the insight that dozens of new teams are getting every single day as we're signing them on here. So number 4 is a big one. It's going to be the cost. So I know teams have different priorities and considerations when it comes to using their budget. Like anything, there's an investment with Catapult, but there's also going to be a huge payoff. So as a coach, I plan on helping all coaches interested with framing the value proposition to their colleagues and their admins, but also programs adopt the tech at their own speed. A real benefit of Catapult is its scalability. If you want 10, you can start with 10. You don't need to buy hundreds all at once. And based on what you're trying to accomplish and what you're ready for, and really what you can afford, you can start with what you need to. Number 3 is buy-in. I get it. It's not always easy trying something new. But sports tech is becoming visible now at all levels of sport. There will always, however, be some questions with something like this being acquired. The best advice here is don't just focus on the tech and what it does, but focus more on how it can help your team with the metrics that are being acquired. You can have your student athletes or your admin be part of the data collection to make it more of a collaborative effort. This will help gain some buy-in from athletes as they know they're being accounted for and taken seriously. And admin typically appreciates that level of insight and attention to detail from the coaching staff. So the number 2 biggest thing that I hear is about the gear. Obviously, bringing in new equipment could be a drawback for some, but our method is very simple where I coach. Someone has to collect the pods, wash the gear, and upload the data. So it's important to find a way to integrate all of this into your process, but it really doesn't have to be overcomplicated. Coaches have found success pairing pods along with jerseys and handling it all at the same time. In the same way, most teams have a manager for film or for equipment. The pods can also be a responsibility taken on by one of those individuals. So I recommend working with position coaches or a student manager. It's going to be a unique process for whatever your school's needs are and what your abilities are as a program and as a staff. And while it does take a little bit of an adjustment, within a week or so, it should only take about 10 to 15 minutes to upload the pods after practice and no time to administer all the equipment to your student athletes. So number 1 is the data, and this is probably the biggest question that I get asked. So we have the data, now what? So I know it can be a lot, especially if you're not used to using something like Catapult. But with some practice, you start to find what works for you. You can check out my other videos where I talk with coaches about their strategies. And again, I'll include all links to those videos below. But most people find success by familiarizing themselves with the metrics and collecting a few rounds of data. Once you have a few sessions, you can look at some of the more obvious, glaring stuff like top speed and see what changes. Then you can start to see what's standing out to me. Does everything look normal? Are there some irregularities in our training that didn't exist at the beginning of the season but exist now? If so, I'm a great resource to reach out to and pinpoint why some of those irregularities might be occurring or why some changes might be taking place. So remember, sports tech is for growth-minded coaches. As you familiarize yourself with it, you start to build your own style and you can tweak it to meet your needs, whatever they are. So that's it for today. As a quick announcement, tomorrow I'll be at the AFCA conference in Charlotte, North Carolina. I look forward to answering all of your questions, and I'm really pumped to just be able to talk football with all of you.
As always, if you have any questions you'd like me to cover, please feel free to leave a comment, DM me. I'm at Coach Dino FB on Twitter and Instagram. I look forward to talking with you guys all season long. Thanks again.